Couple hockey players come up the produce stand the other day.
It's Thirsty Thursday, and that means another episode of The Produce Stand, a podcast paying tribute to the great Canadian show Letterkenny. Now, I know what you're thinking. There are many podcasts about Letterkenny out there, but this podcast comes with 50% more profanity. I'm Al, your host, and joining me in the room is the lovely Tanya, and online we have Matt and Victor. Hey guys, how you doing tonight?
Excellent.
Very well.
All right, so how was your week? The first episode went out last week, and I think we got about 8 people listening, which, there's 4 of us, and I know only 3 of us probably listened to it, so that means at least 5 other people listened.
I had my wife listen.
Oh. Okay.
There you go. And how much do you have to listen to actually count as a listen?
I don't know. That's a good question. Actually, it's not a listen; it's downloads, right? Podcasts they have to be download. So I'm not sure how that works. But anyway,
I may have downloaded it twice.
All right. Well, that accounts. So we've now accounted for all 8 listens. Great. I'm deflated already. We haven't even started. But you know what? It was the first episode. We didn't really talk about we didn't have a recap or whatever. So it was more of a production meeting. Hopefully this thing takes off. But on that topic, we are now available on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Podcasts. So it will not be for lack of distribution that we don't get anybody listening to this thing.
Fuck, the pressure's on now, man.
That's right. Also, I did start up a Twitter account, so you can follow us on Twitter at Produce Stand Pod. That's at Produce Stand Pod, and I noticed that Victor, you're already following us, so that's good for you. I'm also following us. We probably have 1 or 2 others. So yeah, last week the first episode dropped, and the homework for today was to watch season 1, episode 1. So we will, before we get to the recap, though, let's recap our week. Maddie, what did you do this week?
I worked, man.
Yeah.
It was just a fucking shit show. But that's just labor now under the COVID dome. It's an interesting one. It's working kids. That's it. Balancing that out. I mean, where I'm right now, you may see through because we're on video. Standing on my front porch. This has become my official office space. Rain or shine, I am stuck out here during the day to avoid the tears of the inner world inside the house. So it's nice out here on the porch. It's my own little sanctuary.
Is everyone asleep right now, or?
No. I actually had to abandon wifey on the newest episode of Grey's Anatomy.
Oh no!
To move over to Letterkenny. So it's all about balance in life. Right. So
and wait
you
a
get
minute.
some Greys, you get some Letterkenny.
They're not just making new Are they still making new episodes of Grey's?
So let me. Okay, I have something to admit. We started at the beginning.
Oh, all right.
I had never seen it, and she convinced me to do it, and I'm a sucker for punishment, so we're now into season 2, I believe.
Oh, my God.
And it's getting pretty intense. Only 16 seasons to go, I think.
There you go.
So between that and Letterkenny, my time is full.
That is a commitment, too, because that's
I've never
lot.
seen it either. I think we should jump over onto that side.
This is quickly going to become a Grey's Anatomy pod, just for the record.
Oh, yeah. Please, no. I'm all.
But I mean, let's get real. I mean, this COVID shit. Like, I'm running out of things to watch. I swear to God, I've watched the hell out of Netflix. Cable, I'm bored to shit with. I've watched every new release, and now they're not releasing any new movies. All the studios have stopped releasing them, because they can't put them in theaters. So what the hell do we watch?
Do you have Amazon Prime?
I do.
So
I do.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, great show.
Highly recommended.
I'm 2 seasons into that as well.
There you go.
I'm bouncing around shows everywhere.
And Jack Ryan is decent as well. It's really good.
Oh my goodness! If you're talking about Prime, you got to watch The Boys.
Yes. Oh, I've seen it. Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for the next season of that too. Actually, that's starting up next week. Next season of The Boys.
Yes. It's September. Well, no. I think it's September. I could be wrong.
I thought it was late.
If it's next week, that would be awesome.
I thought it was late July. I thought next week. Oh, I could be wrong. Maybe it was something else.
I don't know. Every day is the same to me, so I have no idea what's going on. I know next week is. I've been watching Umbrella Academy with the family, so we're looking forward to that one coming back next week. And we actually started watching BoJack Horseman.
That's the one. Umbrella Academy is the one that comes back next week. I got that mixed up. Yes, I'm looking forward to that too. I'm all caught up on that one. That's another one that I watched without Tanya.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad
I
to say we
appreciate
wrap up
that.
our week with this because this is much better than fighting dudes with treasure trails, right?
All right, yes. Quickly, Victor, dare I ask how your week went?
Yeah, I mean, same, crazy work. Not a shortage of things to do, so work is definitely keeping me busy. And we decided today that we're going to get a new roof for the house, so that's going to set us back a bit.
Oh, mazel tov.
So there's that kind of stuff going on. We're going to get a metal roof, one of these new metal roofs, so then you won't be able to
fancy.
be on the cell phone after that.
All right.
Sounds like fun in a rainstorm.
Yeah, loud.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
for sure. Cool. Yeah. Well, this week we were on vacation, so we were a different kind of busy. But today we went to Casa Loma, took the kids there, and it was almost like a regular kind of vacation day. Like you almost didn't notice that we were in the middle of a pandemic until, of course, we had to wear our masks during the tour. Yeah. But other than that,
plus one garment.
Yeah, exactly. Plus
I don't
one
imagine
garment.
they were handing out headsets.
No, we still we had the tour heads like around our neck, and they're all clean before they were handed over, and then we had to drop in a basket before we left. No, it was good day.
You were in my hood there, Al.
Yeah,
it's just a rock stone away from there.
Yeah, we were. We went down just for that, and
it was perfect. There was like 20 people there.
Yeah.
In the mansion of 95 rooms or 98 rooms, whatever it is, and we pretty much had a room to ourselves every place we went, and perfect.
That's an amazing truth right now. I hear that from everyone. I mean, if get over the fear, the concerns of being out there, if you can get over that and get to some of these places, this is the time to do and see everything, because you cannot have groups. You get the freedom to enjoy things in a peaceful, quiet environment for the first time ever.
Yeah, this is supposed to be their busy season, and it was not busy at all.
Yeah, we were the first into the garden restaurant. Yeah, and everyone was wearing masks, chairs, everything was getting cleaned down. So yeah, it was perfect.
Garden, is there more than one restaurant in Castle? I don't recall.
There are two. Yeah, there's a steak restaurant on the one side, and then the garden restaurant on the other.
So, funny quick story in the steak one. Wife and I one time went for a little downtown date to the distillery market or whatever, middle of winter, came back and said, hey, let's stop and have a quick drink at Casa Loma. So we wander in the front door of the steakhouse, and I swear to God, wifey's in sweatpants, I'm in like snowsuit, this and that, and we're like, can we just grab a drink at the bar? And they looked at us and laughed, and the guy said, I swear to God, his first line was, we don't get a lot of walk-ins here, but let me show you where it is. Nice. I think we each had one drink. Our bill came to something like $60 plus tax for a drink each.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we definitely stood out. There was all suits and tuxes around us, and we're sitting there looking like bums off the street. But hey, we enjoyed every second of it.
The garden restaurant wasn't horribly priced. It was actually quite reasonable. Like I put it on par with like a keg or something, so it wasn't that bad.
Nice.
Yeah, nice atmosphere too. Anyway, so let's get back to what this podcast is about, which is what it's about. Oh, Letterkenny, that's right. Yeah. So
Al. So I mean, there was a big piece of news today. I know this is not a sports podcast or anything like that. Just quickly, your thoughts on the Seattle name.
The Kraken?
Yes.
Sure. Matt, you have an opinion?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
As long as at the beginning of every before they come out, before they skate out onto the ice, they better have a big booming voice saying "Release the Kraken," and then like have them all skate onto the ice.
Oh my God, they're gonna have so much fun with it. And you know how in San Jose they skate out through a shark.
Yeah.
On the ice, and they're gonna have to come up. Nobody knows what this thing looks like, but they'll have to come up with one, because I'm sure a mascot. They're gonna have this monster mascot. So it'll be fun. Anyway, yeah, I think the name's fun, and logo is pretty nice.
I haven't seen the logo yet. Oh, somebody honking at you there, Matt. Get off the porch.
This is I told you I was on a porch. This comes with the sounds of the city.
Letterkenny sucks.
I thought that was the sound effect of the Kraken.
Yeah. All right. So this week's homework was to watch episode 1 of season 1 of Letterkenny. Ain't no reason to get excited. So first we'll start off. Matt, did you watch the episode?
I did, about an hour ago.
All right. So it's fresh in your mind. Victor, did you watch the episode?
I watched it yesterday with my wife and my son.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. And so Tanya and I did watch it as well yesterday. In between episodes of Mrs. Maisel, I made her watch it. So
It's all about balance.
Exactly. Yeah. So here we go with a recap of episode 1, season 1. We open, and first it's a cold open with Wayne, played by Jared Kiso, who is the co-creator of Letterkenny, and his buddy Daryl, played by Nathan Dales, hanging out at the produce stand. A Jeep pulls up with 2 hockey players, Jonesy and Riley. They're dropping off Wayne's sister, Katie. The hockey players get into a verbal joust with the Hicks, and here's how it sounds.
Nice onesie.
All right.
Does it come in men's?
You hear it now?
I think you come in men enough for all of us.
I think you better come in my... you better come...
I think you better come say that to his face, you fucking Hicks.
Nice execution.
You're doing terrific.
Hey, I heard about your breakup, buddy.
She was a sweetie for what, 5 years, right?
Oh, you're a high school sweetie, right?
What's it to you?
Heard she cheated on you, buddy.
That's a real kick in the knackers, bro.
Just a real ouchie, bro.
It's too bad she taught you not to fight anymore, buddy.
Because that's a fight on sight for you and her new guy, buddy.
Fourth life for life, bro.
Maybe if you'd ever been in a real fight, you might not be so keen for another.
What'd you say?
You heard me.
All right. So sorry about that. You know, we're new at this, but that's first of all my favorite line in the entire series. Oh, I think you come in men enough for all of us. I think they had me at that.
Sums up the show.
It sums up the show, and it's awesome. Nice onesie. Does it come in men's? Oh, you come, or I think you come enough in men for all of us.
I should have worn my onesie to this podcast. Not that it would have mattered, but should have done it anyway.
So in that clip, we learned that Wayne is broken up with his girlfriend of 5 years. Her name's Angie. They were dating since high school. She cheated on him, and she also taught him not to fight anymore, which is a pretty big point that we'll learn why it's so big later on in the series. But as they're talking and during the verbal jousting, the hockey players take their shirts off, and here's what it sounds
You
like.
looking for a Tilly, buddy? Let's have a Donnybrook.
Pump the brakes. You take your shirt off, but leave your sunglasses on.
What sort of backwards fucking pageantry is that?
You gonna fight with those shades or play PokerStars.com?
So while we were watching this, I did catch Tanya giggling a few times. So I think
It's bound to happen.
It's bound to happen, I guess.
I think there was only 2 times.
Well, we'll see. So I mean, you know, obviously these Hicks aren't your typical Hicks. They're formidable opponents when it comes to verbal confrontations. That's why I love this show. Like they're not stereotypical Hicks. They're not dumb. They'll talk circles around these people, right? And then just one last one in that first scene.
Go time! Go time!
Look at that fucking treasure trail.
What's up with your fucking body hair, Big Shoots? You look like a 12-year-old Dutch girl. Your aesthetician coiffed that for you?
You can kiss my aesthetician. You guys do CrossFit?
You can cross fuck off.
Cross fart. How many times you pulled your horn today, bud?
What?
Oh, she's bashful.
Oh, come on, kitten. I won't tell anyone. Ballpark 6 to 8. You're a fucking animal.
Play a little 5-on-1.
Hit the kitchen, mix a
5-on-1.
batch.
Feed the ducks.
Mix a
Distribute
batch.
some free literature.
Go time!
Fucking shut 'em!
Riley, Jonesy, put your fucking shirts on and get out of here.
This isn't over!
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
All right, Jinx, you owe me a Coke. So in that scene,
And right after, he's like, "You're not getting a Coke."
yeah, in that scene, 4 different euphemisms for masturbation in the 30-second scene there. So it starts off strong, I think. What do you guys think?
That's what hooked me initially. That's why, you know, when I saw that, I thought, well, this is going to be another awesome show. So that first scene really draws you in.
For sure.
And then I feel like it's a little bit of a bait and switch after that, but initially I didn't think so. Yet when I watched it yesterday, I felt a little less excited than I remember being excited the first time I watched it.
Oh, because you knew what was coming?
No. Enough time had gone by that I watched like a fresh episode. But I think because I had Linda and my son with me,
Yeah.
it felt more juvenile than I remember.
Agreed.
On Tanya's first viewing.
I feel like I can let my hair down when I had hair.
Are you saying that masturbation jokes are juvenile?
It wasn't. You know what? I don't even mean that opening scene. I know that's what we're talking about. I just mean after that opening scene, for me, the show did not hold up. It just felt there was too many parts that just felt too, that it's all about the one-liners, and I was looking for a little more depth, a little more story, and it just was monotonous one-liners, or I guess four-liners in each case.
Well, you definitely get more story as you get on in the season, right? As you learn more about the characters and what they're about, you do get more story. Matt, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, it took me right back. I loved it. You're right. I mean, the whole show is one-liners, and it's one of those shows. It's so quick, it's witty, it's fast, it's quirky, and you can lose track really quickly too. So if you're not paying attention,
for sure,
you'll fall behind the rant, and you'll lose it completely.
Yeah.
So you have to be. I mean, it's definitely one of those shows that I think if I was really stoned or really drunk, I couldn't watch. It would probably be good stoned, but it's hard to follow.
Yeah.
So you get lost. You might end up be laughing at yourself or something completely different by the time the scene's done. So that said, I loved it. It's me back. The hockey guys come in.
Yeah.
You know, Riley and Jonesy. They crush it, and they just get better and better as the show goes on. And this was such a good intro for them.
Yeah.
It sets such a good initial stage right out of the gate. So Victor, you're spot on. This is one of those scenes that just pulls you in. You're like, all right, this is where we're going.
This is what it's about.
Let's see how this thing pans out, right?
What did you think, Tanya?
I agreed with Victor. Yeah. I can appreciate what you're saying and the banter and the hockey boys and stuff, but it's too much one-liners. There's not enough. There's just not enough context. There's not enough. I don't know. You're
not as emotionally involved as you want to be.
Well, what you need is some words of wisdom. So here's where we have Wayne's words of wisdom. Let's listen.
It's a hard life picking stones and pulling teats, but sure as God's got sandals, it beats fighting dudes with treasure trails.
I have that same quote on my screen right now.
Pulling stones, or what is it? Picking stones and pulling teats, but sure as God's got sandals, it beats fighting dudes with treasure trails. I think that's poetic. It's Shakespearean.
It's symbolic. It's all those things. It's nothing at the same time. It's amazing.
There's better quotes coming up ahead, so I'm not going to spoil it because I'm sure you have it coming. But there was definitely some quotes that were golden that Melinda and I were having a great time. By the way, William loved the show. He thought it was great. He said half the time I didn't know what was going on, especially during that dancing scene.
Oh, the skits. Yeah, the skits.
I have a lot to say about that one.
Yeah, so there was the problem is like you'll hear a line and you won't understand it, and as you're trying to decipher it in your head, you've now missed the next three lines.
Absolutely,
and
that applies especially with the skids, because I forgot how fast they. I mean, the Hicks and the Jocks, they're slow compared to how the skids are, and of course that's because they're all high on meth when they're talking. But
we'll get there. But you know, as that was happening, I was thinking, is it okay what they're saying? Is this okay? Is this appropriate? And then, oh no, one of them is gay, so it's okay. No, wait, is this right? What's happening right now?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I think I was watching it today as a dad, which is completely different than I watch shows myself.
Oh, well, when we get to the skids thing, we'll get to that. So that was the cold open, and then the theme plays, and now the scene one, Daryl and Wayne or Daryl's at Wayne and Katie's house, and they're trying to convince Wayne that he should start dating again, and so Daryl has an idea.
Did you talk to Angie yet? It's been almost a month now. I think you need to get back on the horse.
She stepped out on you. Can't go back to that and get any respect. Not in Letterkenny.
Wayne, Angie did you a lot of good. Somewhere along the way, you kind of got soft. You're not even fighting anymore. You know what you need?
Sex with a girl.
Not with just any girl. A good Christian girl. I think I can help you. I've been going to the Burning Bush youth group every Sunday. I think you should come with me.
The Burning Bush youth group. All right. So Daryl's idea is that he needs to find himself a good Christian girl. Katie's got a different idea, though.
You need a distraction. Something fun. Look at this. It's called Tinder. Look, see, there's all these girls, and if you don't like one, you just say, nope, move on to the next. But if you do like one, you can see how close they are and, I don't know, maybe meet up or whatever.
So if you like him, you just type him out a message, or what's the scoop?
Yeah, you just, I don't know, say something like on a scale of 1 to America, How free are you right now?
That's so cheesy. On a scale of 1 to
So,
America.
Can we jump in here for a second?
Yeah.
This made me laugh. So think about where this is, again, supposed to be loosely based on Listowel, Ontario.
Yeah.
And I looked up, Listowel, Ontario, in Stats Canada 2016 had a population of about 7,500. So let's round it up and call it maybe 8,000 at best today. The logistics alone of using Tinder in that small town make no sense. I'm looking at Stats Canada. How old do you think they probably are? Let's say Wayne. What are we guessing Wayne is?
He's probably in his early 20s, yeah.
Early 20s. Okay, so if we look at the early 20s to even late 20s, we maybe got less than 1,000 people, man and woman combined in that category. Maybe split that in half, you get about a 500 mix. So chances are, if you're going through that app, every single person on there have probably already swiped it left or swiped right on every one of them in person.
Yeah, exactly.
So it makes no sense.
No.
It doesn't fucking work.
No, you're right. The math doesn't work. It reminds me of when Uber first started, and I'm in Bradford, in my hometown, of a population of 15,000, 20,000. I'm like, I wonder if Uber's up here. And there's one guy in his car driving around, and probably not getting a lot of hits because it's a tiny town, right? Same thing. Same thing with Tinder.
It's that one city person who's gone up there and go, hey, do they have Uber around here? Yeah. Oh, sure enough they do. It's that one guy gets a ride.
Yeah. And it's probably your cousin or something. Just you could have just called him directly for a ride.
Yeah. Could be your cousin on Tinder as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Enlist though, maybe.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. All right. Next scene, we're back at the produce stand. Wayne, Daryl, and now we're joined by Squirrely Dan, played by the very funny K. Trevor Wilson, who the guy I mentioned last time, the most hick character on the show is actually the one guy from Toronto. Check out his stand-up comedy. He's pretty good. So his name is Squirrely Dan on the show. He's a storyteller, and he tells the story of a time when he and Wayne got into trouble with some police down in the States. During this story, we're introduced to a bunch of what will become running gags on the show. So, for example, this one here.
Yous makes the most delicious trail mix, Katie, and I got to say that's what I appreciates about you.
Is that what you appreciate about me?
So you'll hear that a lot. You'll also hear a lot of this.
Pitter patter, Squirrely Dan.
And you'll also hear a lot of where's this one.
My second cousin.
Who, Garrett?
No, Jarrett.
You'll understand why that's funny in about 10 episodes there, Tanya. And finally, my favorite, and I'm going to be using this a lot.
Wish you weren't so fucking awkward, bud.
I love that line.
That was my favorite.
Yeah, I love that.
We all know one.
Yes, we all know. Oh, and there's a good one here from Katie too.
Sort yourself out.
That comes on later. Sort yourself out. It's another great comeback. So scene 4, the Hicks go to the local bar called Modean's, and that's where we meet Gail, the bartender. She's a bit of a randy person. Here's a little bit of Gail.
4 shots of Gus and Brew, please, and thank you. One for you too, Gaylor.
Thank you, Wayne, but I'm off the sauce. Taking 8 vitamins a day now.
What are you taking?
I'm taking multivitamin, fish oil, vitamin C, vitamin D, 2 vitamin B complexes, and 2 cold FXs.
Yeah, but except how many darts?
25 darts.
Oh, you got her down then. Last I seen you were on a pack and a half of smoke.
Well, sometimes I'll have a pack and a half smokes, but never more than 2 packs of smoke.
Good enough.
So, darts. Is that our Canadian term? Do we need to explain that one?
I grew up using darts.
Yeah, so did I. I didn't know. Victor, did you know what darts were?
Well, I have a friend from Sudbury, so.
And there's, of course, Dart Guy was immortalized for showing up at every Leaf game with a cigarette in his mouth.
That's right.
They even gave him his own radio show. All right, Wayne goes to the men's room, and he runs into McMurray at the urinals.
Wayne.
McMurray, how are you now?
Good, and you?
Not so bad.
Seen Angie with her new dude. What a fucking dandy. Yeah, he's got Fugazi diamonds in both ears and leprechaun buckles on his shoes. He's running a fucking dippity-doo convention upstairs for his salad, driving a 94 Deep YJ with a wave deck on the side. Enough alone to offend a Bangkok ladyboy.
Good enough.
Don't you want to hear the best part? You're going to want to hear the best part.
Okay.
You want full beaver eyes.
What?
Beaver eyes. Wayne. Wayne. Wayne, look.
It's inappropriate, McMurray.
Wayne, just look, for fuck's sakes. Just fucking look, Wayne. Full beaver eyes.
What's that?
Beaver, the pop star.
I'm not familiar with his word.
So this thing caught me off guard because of McMurray. And again, it all makes sense later. So I hope anyone listening remember that clip and how McMurray sounds and he responds, because he is one of those characters who evolves like crazy.
Yeah, he does.
He was unrecognizable to me to what I remember him in the later season. And weird, I'm going to go off topic. It reminded me of, and not that I'm a direct correlation to, but The Office and Michael Scott. So I'm a big Office fan as well.
Mm-hmm.
And season 1, Michael Scott was straight up a dick. He was just brutal. He was harsh. His character he hadn't found his footing yet until like season 2. And then he was still a dick, but a little more playful. And then you started to love him a bit more. So McMurray's got the thing. And I mean, again, I'm remembering the later seasons. He changes immensely. So it's going to be interesting to see when you play clips in some of the later episodes, and we think back to how he sounded there.
Yeah, McMurray does definitely take a turn later on. It's interesting to see when a new show starts off and having the hindsight now, characters change so much. Even like when I think about The Simpsons, when that first started, the show was all about Bart, right? Bartman, eat my shorts, all that stuff. And then probably for the first couple of years, and then after that, it was all about Homer. And probably for the next 20 years, and I haven't seen it since, but I feel like Homer became the main guy on The Simpsons, and because they found out that he was a more interesting character. And I think in shows like this that are lucky enough to get picked up and last longer, you get these characters taking turns and maybe not being the same character they started off as, right? Another good example of that is that show, God damn it, with the show with the geeks, with the nerds in it, Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, if you ever watch the pilot episode of that, Sheldon character, he's like very, he's kind of he's very different from what he becomes, right? Like
so different. He's like unrecognizable. Like he's so toned down compared to what he becomes later.
He's more interested in girls in that first episode, and then it's a very different character.
He was more like a normal human being. Then they turned him into a robot.
Yeah, exactly. Which is weird. Which is weird. Usually the characters get more 3-dimensional, not less 3-dimensional. But anyway,
he didn't even have that ism with the knocking on the door 3 times.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Pilot episode, or maybe even the first few episodes.
And I don't think it was introduced till midway into the first season.
Yeah.
And speaking of isms, I mean, there's another good Letterkenny callback is whenever they take a shot, when they put the shot glasses down, they always hit the bar twice. So have you noticed that?
No, I'm gonna be watching now. I'm gonna be watching for that now.
Really? Oh, it's like they make a point of framing that shot every time they take a shot, and then they hit the bar twice with the shot glasses.
But there was only one shot in the first episode.
In the first episode, but throughout the show, they'll do it all at the same time every time. And
you're expecting way too much of us here.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
but I recall it, but I don't recall thinking a big deal about it.
Speaking of which, they talk about a couple of different alcoholic drinks throughout this show. The first one is Gus and Brew, which is what it's a Canadian whiskey. It's fictional. It's like they made it up for the show, but it's funny. They also drink a beer called Puppers, and because of the show, a local brewery has made a batch of Puppers, that beer that you can actually buy, and they're trying to also do a Gus and Brew whiskey to sell at the LCBO, but they have, I don't know. I guess it's harder to do than beer, but.
Does it come with the dog logo on it?
Yeah, exactly. It does. It's there you go. It's straight out of Letterkenny. Like Letterkenny is the big like promotional vehicle for Puppers.
It would have to be.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty funny.
Yes.
All right, so Wayne comes. Oh, sorry. After that awkward exchange at the urinals, things get a little more awkward when this guy Alexander comes in and occupies the middle urinal.
Okay. Again, we need to stop you.
Our dicks hang out. Yours is like a mushroom in a cornfield. Mind your fucking business, Alexander.
Seeing Angie with her new dude, what a fucking dandy.
Eyes on your own work there, Super Chief.
Alexander. It's so...
Oh my
Super
God.
Chief.
Eyes on your own work there, Super Chief. So what I like, I mean, already you see it's a small town and everyone cares about Wayne's girlfriend and they see the boyfriend and they want to tell Wayne about the new boyfriend and what he looks like and what he's like and stuff. So you can see the small town kind of mentality and everyone looking after each other. So that's pretty cool.
I had a bit of a horrific flashback when that urinal scene happened, actually. When Alexander walked in there, and if you notice what he did, how he walked up, took the middle stall, which, if it's the only one available, I guess it's all right in urinal etiquette. But he dropped his pants.
Yeah.
Like, straight to the floor.
I think that was my first laugh.
That was your second laugh.
I've never seen that in my life.
I have one time. It was at work. Long time ago.
At work?
Person no longer works there, thank
That's the
God.
reason
And I
why.
walked in, there's someone ass out, pissing in the urinal, and I turned around and walked straight out. I'm like, I can hold it.
This isn't at the company we both work at now, is it?
Oh, 100% it is.
Was he drunk? That's the
No,
only
he was
logical
very-
reason.
I just wish he wasn't so awkward.
Oh,
my
dear.
God.
Oh,
That's
dear.
crazy. Like, I
It's
see
no one you guys would have known, but
Sure.
again, this was many years ago, but it was, I stopped
see
dead
that
in my tracks.
I can see
I
that
had to go
happening in
so bad.
in grade school, like in 3rd grade or something, or you know what I mean, like a kid going to the bathroom and pulling it. But no, not.
Nope.
Full outgrown man. Hairy ass and all. Just.
Oh, hairy ass anal. Let me tell you, I sucked it back in and went back to my desk.
Wow. All right.
So I had to share that moment with
Yes,
you guys.
thank you. Thank you for sharing. As many of those stories as you can bring up, please do. All right. Wayne comes back from the restroom. Daryl tries to convince him to go to the Burning Bush youth group to meet girls. He resists, and Gail, the bartender, who's a filthy flirt, smells blood and tries to move in on Wayne.
Let's say we go for a quick ice run, Wayne. Been pushing up on you for years now. Let's say you give old Gaylor one for the scrapbook.
Wayne gives her some mints and turns around to Daryl and says, I'm in for the youth group. And so that's how he gets convinced to go. So, scene 5. Outside the church, we meet the Skids getting high and dancing. The Hicks enter the church group, and Wayne immediately regrets his decision. He gets a crash course on what Tinder is like.
Wayne's been going through a bit of a rough breakup. I thought a night at the Burning Bush might help him out. Plus, it's better than spending all his time on Tinder.
Tinder? Did you know that it was originally called Grindr and it was made for gay men to sodomize each other?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Good way to get a finger in your bum? Or a tongue in your bum? Do you know what dick dingers are?
No.
It's when they snort drugs off each other's erect penises.
That have just been in bums.
I love Daryl's little addition that have just been in bums. Right at the end of that, it's oh man, the whole thing leading up to that, where she does the whole lighter trick and then sucks his finger, and Daryl goes, "That's how they got me. That's how they get you." Just
with a Band-Aid on.
Yeah. I love it. All right, and that's when we meet Pastor Glen, played by Jacob Tierney, and he's the other creator of the show, the co-writer and producer of the show, and he's also an unabashed, flamboyant preacher. Here's how he sounds.
Oh my gourd! Look at this turnout! Hi everybody! Quick question for all y'all. How good is God? I love him! He's the best! There's almost no one I like more. Second question, has anyone seen, where is my beautiful girlfriend Virginia? Jenny, where are you? There she is. Jenny, come on up here.
Jenny,
come on,
where
Jenny.
are you?
Come on. Oh, Jenny. Jenny. I still remember, like it was yesterday, the day that the Lord gave you to me. And he said, Glenn, this is your blank canvas. It is pale. It is colorless. It is almost cardboard-like. I want you to give it life, to give it color. And I said to the Lord, I will give it everything, except for one thing. What was that question? Vaginal intercourse!
Vaginal. I've never heard a standing ovation given for those words. Vaginal intercourse, yay! Yes.
So it's funny because I feel like he's stepped out of South Park or something like that into this show, because I feel like that's where you'd find that character. And I don't know if you guys watched a show called The Middle from a it's not on anymore. But
yeah, I remember the show. But yeah, no, I never watched.
There was also a preacher or pastor or minister or whatever who was a flamboyant, and he basically the same kind of character. And that kind of flashed me back to both South Park and the middle. But it's just that continuous theme from the skids to this to the whole grinder thing, and then and later we'll see that all those guys on their, I guess, grinder apps. Mm-hmm. There's this theme in this episode that's very, very. I don't know if they're if it's being inclusive or if it's being anti or if they're just making fun of it. So I don't know. There was definitely this undertone that I didn't catch the first time I watched the show, but then watching it with my son, it was felt different.
Right. Yeah, I can see how that could be taken. I mean, again, I've got the benefit of 2020. I can tell you that it is they are very inclusive, or especially with LGBT whatever, the gay community.
Yeah, the alphabet community.
You'll have to get that right by the next podcast.
I do. Holy crap. But yeah, in the beginning it does feel like they're kind of hammering on that a bit for sure. Speaking of which, let's go to the next scene where Wayne goes outside for a dart and the skids start teasing him about being on Grindr.
Oh, fucking Grindr.
Grindr? What? Pray tell, are you doing on Grindr, Wade?
What are you skids doing out of your parents' basement, Stuart?
Educate 'em. The gang and I have been doing hip-hop karaoke for the better part of 48 hours. I've been on the decks. Ones and twos. The entire 48.
Subsequently spitting hot fire.
Wait, Mega Man, Final Fantasy, and Original NES, Pokemon Gold, and Game Boy Color.
That fits them all.
Ivysaur, Bulbasaur, Venusaur, Charmeleon, Charizard, fucking Charmander.
Time to take that 20% off meth intake, boys.
So, when you were talking about this earlier, Victor, watching that scene and watching the skids, all I can think of is if my son ever becomes a meth head, this would be him. Unfortunately, it's very scary. That's why they're probably my least favorite characters on the show in the beginning. They do get better, or they do get more. I don't know, interesting later on in seasons, but in the beginning, I'm not a fan of the skid storylines.
I think I vocalized my thought when this part came up, and I went, "What the hell is this?" Yeah. I just don't understand it. There's no need. It was very stupid to me.
Yeah, I will say though, Tyler Johnston, he plays Stuart, is brilliant, and if you look at him, there are angles where he looks like a young Tom Cruise, and he could have a future in films if he wanted it. I think it's to be seen, but because we'll see what this does for his career. But I think he's a really good actor and also charismatic and stuff. So I think he could really be, if he wanted to, and if he got the right break, he could be a good a big time star.
I think they're all good actors.
Yeah.
I mean, to be able to say those lines and just with a straight face and just get through it, I think you have to be super talented.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about the characters and not the people playing the characters, I think that's where Tanya's coming from.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure.
Yeah, for me, that scene, I looked over at William and he looked at me and he said, "What's happening?" And just like he didn't actually say it with the words, he's just said it with his eyes.
He didn't say what the fuck?
He said afterwards. Like afterwards, we were discussing the show. But that was definitely a WTF scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think Al, you've already sort of touched on the show grows. There's a lot of different stuff. This first episode, even like if you look at the storylines, it's all about sort of Wayne finding himself again and finding his inner fighter and this and that. I mean, it's really a big introduction episode. They're laying the ground. They're showing you who these different groups are. They're letting you feel them out, love them or hate them for day one. At least you know sort of who they are, what they are, and where they're, what they represent, and then they build from there, right?
Yeah, for sure. On to the next scene. We're back at Modean's, the bar. The hockey players and the skids team up to give Wayne a hard time about being on Grindr. So here we go.
What are you doing with the fertile, Wayne? Didn't we just catch you cruising, Grinder?
Come again?
Hey, shouldn't you boys be watching Front Night Lights with a gym sock on your joystick?
Sure, Tim Reagan's, I fucking dare you. Mixing a little One Tree Hill and maybe some Gossip Girl. However, I think we got some bigger fish to fry right here. Looking for love over the rainbow now, are we, Dorothy?
I hate you, but can't confirm deer season's over. He's hunting bear now.
I fucking hate you, too. However, I fucking hate him more, and I just found out he's ambidextrous.
What are they talking about?
He likes dicks now. In his palm or his mouth, all over.
In his bum or his mouth, all over. He's ambidextrous. I love that. I just found out his.
It's amazing.
Oh, that's great. That was the only gay joke that was funny.
Oh man. Angie's new boyfriend. Oh, sorry. Go on, Matt. You have anything?
No, I was gonna say, the one thing I caught in all that, and it made me laugh. It was, and I wonder if it's intentional. They made a quick reference to Gossip. I think it was a Gossip Girl.
Yeah, and One Tree Hill or something like that. Or
One Tree Hill. And you know what? I wonder if that's a direct reference to the tone of their show. I mean, not that I've really watched those shows, but I've caught a couple episodes, like Ex-Girlfriends, things and that. And I used to always comment how fast and how quick though they spoke within those shows, right?
Yeah.
And like especially One Tree Hill, like I couldn't even keep up with the dialogue.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So when they said that, there, I'm like, wonder if that was sort of a shot at themselves, at sort of the pace at which the show is taking it on.
Maybe, or could also just be the absurdity that there's a tough hockey player that's his favorite show is One Tree Hill, or, like instead of
maybe.
I don't know.
That's how I took it though.
You could be right. I'm not familiar with that show, so I'll have to take your thoughts on that one.
Yeah. Angie's new boyfriend walks into the bar. Wayne goes out for a cigarette and runs into his sister, who tells him she misses the old Wayne.
You must be having a fun night. Bro is gay. LMFAO in all caps from Riley. Wayne, you remember when you were 19, those worm pickers kept coming in the night and trampling on our beans? What'd you do?
Dug 6-foot holes, put a skunk in each one, and waited for him to fall in.
Remember when the skids egged Daryl on his bike? What'd you do?
Put stink bombs in a Nerf gun and fired it at him on prom night.
Remember when you came in from Chorin and found those messages on my computer from a guy calling me a slut?
I wanted a piece of that guy for a long time.
You drove over to his house and broke his nose on his front lawn. I miss that, Wayne. I think a lot of people do.
It's for the better.
All right, so a little bit more backstory on the kind of person Wayne was before Angie.
They're all seeking Wayne the Protector.
Yeah, for sure. And his own sister is begging him to come back to rejoin his fighting ways. That's pretty good kind of character development. Like as you go on, you'll see the buttons that you need to push to get Wayne pissed off at you, and his sister is definitely one of those buttons.
She knows how to get to him for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's all I took him to. You're right. They set the stage. They said who he is. And that's what I took. He's the protector. And you see that grow. He's very loyal. He loves his community, but at the same time, don't fuck with him.
Exactly.
And he'll put you in your place.
So a very drunk Alexander from the middle stall stumbles out of the bar and starts pissing in the corner again with his pants down around his ankles.
Re-enter the ass.
Yes, Angie's boyfriend comes out and starts recording Alex with his phone, and then kicks Alex into a pile of garbage. Wayne comes to Alex's defense.
Oh, fuck! What the hell are you doing? I'd ask you the same thing, you fucking tit.
I'm taping an idiot. I'm not sneaking up on dudes and starting fights.
I'm not fighting you, I'm smacking you.
Well, that's right. You don't fight anymore, do you? I figured I'd have one on deck for sure after I stole your girl. Nothing, eh? No move? She must have trained you well. So what's it gonna take to get you back on the horse there, champ? Do I go inside and spread Angie right out on the bar when she gets here? I've fucked your girl more times than you've had a hot meal. Maybe your sister wants to join us. It's Katie, right? Shit. Why don't I go over there and ask her myself?
Yeah, and that's the last straw. Wayne proceeds to kick the guy's ass, and the rest of the bar comes out to see the fuss. And when they see that old Wayne is back, they immediately stop making fun of him. So,
I mean, does that even justify as old Wayne, or is that just anybody who's told shit like that might have that same reaction?
Oh, sure, but he doesn't. So he doesn't react to the ex-girlfriend because she cheated on him. It was when the guy started talking about his sister.
Yeah. So for me, the show went from like, it took a complete turn in that scene, right? So the show up until then has been kind of one-liners and jokes and pitter-patters and all this and all that. And then all of a sudden, the language and the insults just became like vulgar to a different level, right? Especially when he's going on about his sister. And then Wayne's reaction, it's like, whoa, like he's really hammering him. And even the part about him kicking Alexander into the trash, you just felt bad. Like you just felt bad. Like how could someone do that to another human being?
Yeah.
That's not funny.
Exactly.
So the show went from like this comedy to like, what just happened? This is nasty. This is terrible. So yeah, that scene just went dark.
Yeah. But I mean, they're setting up the rules for Wayne, right? They're setting, okay, Wayne, you're gonna get Wayne's attention if you pick on somebody lesser than you, or pick on his sister.
It became the story of the Ferdinand.
Ferdinand?
Yeah, Ferdinand.
Ferdinand.
There you go. It actually had a story, though, like exactly what Victor said. It went from its back and forth banter to an actual storyline, some actual something to tangible in the story.
You sound surprised.
I was surprised because
of course there's a story. That's why I like the show.
It just was
no, not of course. There's absolutely nothing happened in that episode that warrants to say of course.
No, the whole episode builds up to this. It's all character development. It's all like we're trying to figure out Wayne and.
Yeah,
this is Wayne. Matt, you put it perfectly. Wayne's the protector, and everyone was looking to Wayne to settle things, and it took that to get the old Wayne back.
But everybody was an antagonist towards him.
Right.
Like everybody, and it took like just the worst antagonist to be the one that got him out of his
right. But and again, coming from hindsight, we'll find out later on that Wayne doesn't just protect the people he claims to be on, like in his group. But anyway, we'll see more evidence of that. But I think this is a good introduction to his character, and obviously it sets the scene for everything else.
And I mean, it shows the show is very much like an onion. It has layers.
Oh my goodness! I know I had the child reference, but really,
from Ferdinand to Shrek.
I get what you're saying there, though. It's like it's very one thing direction, then all of a sudden it shifted. I mean, it reminded me of an old Full House episode where guys sort of laughs and all of a sudden the music goes all somber, and Danny goes in behind Michelle, and cuddles her close and teaches her a lesson about something. Yeah, every episode had that. I think
look,
this does the same
the best
thing.
The best comedy comes from tragedy, right? So you need to get serious for the funny to be amplified for sure. And I think that's what we got there.
All about balance.
Yeah. And then, so just last scene before the credits roll, the next day back at the produce stand, and the hockey players drop Katie off again, but things are a little different this time.
Bye, Wayne.
Bye, Wayne.
Have a good one, bro.
See you later, buddy.
And suddenly everyone's Wayne's best friend again.
Wayne restores balance.
Exactly. Balance
they
to
poke the bear.
Letterkenny.
About that.
I feel bad. I left out in the clip after he beats the shit out of the guy's the boyfriend. He does say "Welcome to Letterkenny" as he spits and he walks off. It's like such a dirty Harry moment there, right? So I mean, go ahead.
I was maybe you're going to go there anyway, but because I have the sense, I have a feeling that every episode, I don't know if Tanya's going to make it through all of them, but we'll see. I have a feeling.
Does she have an understudy?
No, maybe Jen. Maybe Jen's her understudy.
I'll come and watch the kids while she stands on the porch with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I should probably invite you to watch Grey's and send me back out to the porch.
So I have a feeling we're going to go through a bit of a roller coaster in terms of these episodes, which are, some we're going to have a consensus on, some that we're going to think are great, others are not going to be so great, and so on. We should come up with like some sort of a rating scale for rating each episode, I think.
That's a good idea. I can't believe I thought of that. So I don't know what the rating scale would be, but
Something with a produce stand, like underripe, overripe, ready for the compost.
We can't use the tomato. We can't use the
Pretty
tomato.
sure Rotten
thing.
Tomatoes is taken.
Yeah, tomatoes are taken, and yeah, that's
Not what they do. All right.
I don't know what bananas up, bananas down, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Who in Ontario is growing bananas?
Yeah, you're right. So celery,
Avocado,
we can use
avocado.
Celery, carrot, avocado. I can't think
Can
of.
we grow avocados? No, I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
Guacamole would be like the bad.
I know I got a lot of those going bad in my kitchen.
Yeah.
They're certainly not growing anywhere, though.
Well, I mean, I know just coming from the marsh, there's a lot of celery. There's a lot of carrots. There's potatoes.
Carrots.
Potatoes. So, good point. Damn it. Why didn't we think of this ahead of time? Now we're
maybe we can use pickled eggs or something like that. I don't know.
All right.
I give it 3 pickled eggs.
Let's for today.
I like the compost.
Let's put a pin in that for now.
Put a pin.
All right. How about this? We rate it fresh or compost. So thumbs up or thumbs down. So
what's middle ground?
Oh wow,
we need a middle ground. We need a middle. Ready for sale.
Okay, fresh. How about this? Fresh, ripe, or compost? Ripe would be like right in the middle.
Isn't ripe where you want it?
Ripe is fresh.
All right.
What produce are you
when they
buying?
say ripe for the pickings, right?
Spoiled. No. On sale.
I feel like
It's clearance.
Right now. You're like, which white do you want to use?
There's fresh, there's clearance, and there's compost.
Yeah.
Clearance. Yeah. All right. Where it's still edible.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Okay. Day old. So fresh, clearance, or compost. All right. So yeah, good idea. I like that, Victor. Way to think on your ass there. Matt, why don't we start with you? This is the first episode. Would you rate it a fresh, a clearance, or a compost?
I mean, I know what's coming, and I've been there. I'm going to give this one a fresh, just to start on a positive.
All right. Matt gives it a fresh. Victor, how about you?
For my second viewing, I give it a clearance. My first viewing was a fresh, but my second, which was 2 years ago, my yesterday's viewing was definitely a clearance. But I can tell you that Linda and William would have probably given it a fresh.
Awesome. I love William and Linda. All right. And Tanya, what would you give it?
All right. The beginning of it, I was like, oh, okay. And then the middle was like compost. And then the end kind of brought it back together because there was a bit of a story there for me, which I appreciate. So I'll put it in clearance.
All right. We got a clearance from Tanya. That's awesome. I'm going to obviously give this a fresh because this is the episode that reeled me in and for sure, I love the show, so I'm gonna definitely give it a fresh. So we got 2 freshes and a clearance, no compost, or two clearances, so no compost. That's amazing.
And Al, I think you should be ready in case there's ever a time, and I'm not sure it will happen, that everybody gives it a fresh rating. You should have like a sound effect ready, or
all right.
something like that.
Okay, I'll have to work on something. So you know what we could have done too is like the compost could have also been a hard no. A hard no. But anyway, we'll work on that. It'll get better. Awesome. So let's see. Why don't we talk a little bit about the music on the episode? So the other thing that I wanted to mention to our I can't even say dozens of listeners because I don't think we're at 12 yet. Is I've created a Spotify playlist that's going to have all these songs on them that are on Spotify anyway. So, for example, the Prima Donnas by Kaboom Atomic, which is a hip-hop song that gets played while the hockey players drive up in the Jeep. There's one here that Victor would like the name of, Doogie Gilmore Chop Chop by Anakin Slade. That's also a song that the hockey players play in the Jeep. Save Me featuring Katie B by Keys and Crates. That's the drum and bass beat that the Skids are dancing to outside the church hall, which I actually listened to. It's a great track. I actually really like the track.
Is that a remake of the Save Me song from Smallville?
No, it is not. Not at all.
All right.
There's also a song called Worms
That's a hard no.
by New Sunsei. I could not find a link to it on Spotify, though. But the one that I want to really focus or put a spotlight on here is actually this one called "Everyone Looks Like Everyone." It's the song that plays when old Wayne comes back and starts fighting. It's a great rockin' tune. I love it. So check out the band.
And there's a rap song at the end during the credits.
Yeah, and then the song at the end is called Wolf Pack by Pigeonhole. Also a pretty banging tune. But I just wanted to give Everyone Looks Like Everyone some love. It's
By the way, did everybody watch past the credits?
Yes.
All right, because then there's a bunch of one-liners after that as well.
There is, and I think those. I want to say that aren't those just replaying the Letterkenny Problems YouTube episodes, or are they fresh? Like I don't remember. Matt, do you know?
No idea. I didn't actually get that far.
I have it on the clip, but it's pretty long, so I'm not gonna. I'll save you guys from playing.
I didn't find them particularly funny. They were just there, you know.
Yeah, a couple of them were chuckles, but you're right. They were.
I thought it was the beginning of the next episode.
Yeah, Tanya's
like,
like,
what are you doing?
Like, God damn.
I'm like, we're only supposed to be watching one. That's it.
No, we stopped it. I stopped it just to make sure what happened here, because the app that we're using isn't supposed to go to the next episode, and so I didn't know what was going on. But then, we just realized that it's just bonus footage.
Yeah,
so I wasn't aware there was a post-credit commitment here as well.
There is.
Does that happen in every episode?
No. So in the first season, they do that at the end of every episode, post credits. I feel like after the first season, they stopped doing it. And again, I feel like those were just the YouTube serial that they just tacked on at the end, but I could be wrong. Anyway, because it's similar to what they did on YouTube, where it's just Wayne, Daryl, and Squirrely Dan doing their one-liners or whatever, and they're amusing.
Do we know why they call one Squirrely?
No, it's his nickname. I'm not sure.
I know why I have the name Squirrely.
No, yours is just squirrel.
Oh, different meaning on that.
Different. So, do you guys have any closing remarks or comments before we wrap? Oh, sorry. One last thing. For our website, I am listing everyone's top 3 favorite episodes. Because this is the first one, this is going to be everyone's number 1. But as we move on, I'll be asking you guys, where this is going to rank, so that we can kind of keep a running ranking of these episodes.
So I guess once we get to episode 4, we start bumping one off. Is
exactly.
that kind of the idea?
Yeah. So, and I feel like
it will be fun to see if Tanya's episode ever changes.
Well, I'm sure that even I think Fart Book is either episode 3 or 4.
Oh God, not.
And she may not even let me put it on. Like there might be an empty spot, and she'll say just leave Fart Book off. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
That was painful the first time.
I'm not crazy about fart jokes, so we'll see how that goes.
All right. Sounds good. So I'm just gonna start wrapping it up then here. And that's all we have for this episode. Next week, we'll recap episode 2 from season 1 called Super Soft Birthday. I actually, this is going to be one of my favorites. Please rate us on iTunes if you like the show. If you don't, then by all means, continue to hate listen. We're not proud. Follow us on Twitter at ProduceStandPod. We also invite you to visit our website, theproducestandpod.com. For other episode recaps, a list of your favorite episodes, and to email us. If you email us, we might even read your email on the podcast. Thank you for joining us. Now we're going to get balls deep in a bottle of Gus and Brew at Modean's. See you next week.